Hello, and welcome to Bright Tobias, your go-to channel for in-depth analysis of Africa's most pressing stories. Today, we're diving into a bold and controversial move out of Namibia. The country's first female president has reportedly ordered the deportation of over 500 American citizens, a direct response to U.S. President Donald Trump's aggressive deportation operations targeting African immigrants. But that's not all. This decision is sparking conversations across the continent, with parallels to the revolutionary agenda of Burkina Faso's young leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Stay with us as we unpack this complex story, its implications, and what it means for Africa's place in global politics. Let's start with the headline that's making waves. On April 15, 2025, Namibia's first female president issued a directive to deport more than 500 American citizens from Namibia. According to sources, her reasoning was clear and uncompromising. If Africans need visas to enter the U.S., then Americans must also need visas to enter Namibia. This statement is a powerful assertion of reciprocity and national sovereignty, reflecting a growing frustration among African leaders with what they see as unequal treatment in global diplomacy. To understand the context, let's break it down. For years, African citizens have faced stringent visa requirements to enter Western countries, including the United States. These processes are often costly, time-consuming, and humiliating with high rejection rates. Meanwhile, citizens from Western nations, including Americans, frequently enjoy visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to many African countries, including Namibia. The Namibian president's decision flips this dynamic, demanding equal treatment. It's not just about visas, it's about dignity and fairness. As sources close to the Namibian government have emphasized, the reaction in Namibia has been mixed but largely supportive. Many Namibians, especially on social media, have hailed the president as a bold leader standing up to Western dominance. Posts on the media echo this sentiment, with many users applauding her for responding directly to Trump's policies. However, there's also concern about the economic and diplomatic fallout. Namibia relies on tourism and foreign investment, and some worry that targeting Americans could strain relations with the U.S., a key global player. To fully grasp why Namibia's president took this step, we need to look at the other side of the Atlantic. Since returning to office in 2025, President Donald Trump has doubled down on his immigration agenda. His administration has prioritized mass deportations, targeting what he calls illegal aliens, with a particular focus on African and Latin American immigrants. According to NPR, Trump's rhetoric has raised alarms across West Africa, where leaders and citizens fear the impact on their diaspora communities in the U.S. During Trump's first term, he introduced measures curbing immigration from countries like Nigeria, Eritrea, Sudan, and Tanzania. Now, in his second term, reports suggest plans to deport up to 1 million people without legal status. For Africans, this is deeply personal. Many have built lives in the U.S., contributing to its economy and culture, yet face the threat of being uprooted. Clement Okafor, a Nigerian interviewed by NPR, voiced his worry. "I'm not happy that Trump won because of his treatment of African nations, that he's ready to deport as many as possible. This sentiment is widespread, fueling resentment toward U.S. policies." Namibia's deportation order is, in many ways, a direct counterpunch. By targeting Americans, the president is signaling that African nations won't sit idly by while their citizens are vilified and expelled. But this move also resonates with a broader Pan-African movement, one that's gaining momentum under leaders like Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré. Let's explore how these two stories connect. At just 36 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is the world's youngest head of state and arguably Africa's most popular leader. Since seizing power in a 2022 coup, Traoré has transformed Burkina Faso into a symbol of resistance against neocolonialism and Western influence. His agenda, as outlined in sources like Caracal Reports and ISS African Futures, focuses on three pillars: national sovereignty, economic self-reliance, and Pan-African unity. Traoré's policies are bold and practical. He's nationalized gold mines, built a national gold refinery, and banned unrefined gold exports to Europe, ensuring Burkina Faso retains more of its wealth. He's also invested heavily in agriculture, distributing tractors and seeds to boost food production, and rejected loans from the IMF and World Bank, declaring that Africa doesn't need Western financial institutions. These moves have lifted Burkina Faso's GDP from $18.8 billion to $22.1 billion in just 2 years, according to Pravda-en. But Traoré's vision extends beyond Burkina Faso. He's a key figure in the Alliance of Sahel States, a confederation with Mali and Niger that rejects Western interference and promotes African cooperation. This alliance, as Black Agenda Report notes, is a step toward true sovereignty and self-determination, echoing the dreams of African icons like Thomas Sankara and Kwame Nkrumah. Traoré's expulsion of French military forces and his call to decolonize mentalities have inspired leaders across the continent, including, it seems, Namibia's president. Namibia's deportation order aligns closely with Traoré's agenda. Both leaders are asserting their nation's dignity on the global stage, challenging the double standards of Western powers. While Namibia's move is diplomatic rather than military, it sends a similar message. Africa will no longer tolerate unequal treatment. The Namibian president's visa reciprocity demand mirrors Traoré's push for economic and political reciprocity, where African nations negotiate as equals, not subordinates. The global reaction to Namibia's decision has been polarized. In Africa, many see it as a courageous stand. Leaders in countries like Mali and Niger, part of Traoré's alliance, have reportedly expressed private support. However, Western governments, particularly the US, are likely to view this as a provocation. The Trump administration hasn't publicly responded, but given its focus on America first, retaliation, perhaps through sanctions or travel restrictions, isn't out of the question. On the media, the conversation is electric. Users are debating whether other African nations will follow Namibia's lead, creating a domino effect. Some speculate that Traoré's influence is spreading, with his model of rejecting Western dominance inspiring a new generation of leaders. But there are risks. Namibia's economy is smaller than Burkina Faso's, and antagonizing the US could hurt trade and aid. Similarly, Burkina Faso faces challenges like jihadist insurgencies and political instability, which could undermine Traoré's reforms if not addressed. So what's next? For Namibia, the deportation order could strengthen its domestic support but strain international ties. For Burkina Faso, Traoré's agenda is a high-stakes gamble. Success could transform the Sahel, but failure risks isolation. Both leaders are betting on a future where Africa asserts its power, but they'll need to navigate a complex global landscape to succeed. That's all for today's deep dive on Bright Tobias. What do you think about Namibia's bold move and its connection to Ibrahim Traoré's vision? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that shape our world. Until next time, stay out of trouble.